Hello, Newcastle fans, Stevie, and welcome to a quick stream of the lineups reaction, which I've just literally got right now. We're going to start with Derby's lineup as well. So we're going to start with Derby first, and we'll look at their substitute bench and their first 11. And then we'll have a look at Newcastle's lineup, which has just come out, and we'll have a look at the league table where we are currently live as well. So I apologise, there's a bit of a lag because we're a little on the internet in another room as well. So, right, so looking at the substitutes bench that Derby have got, they went for Mitchell. Tom Ince is on the bench, which is really surprising. So I'm quite happy about Tom Ince being on the bench. Darren Bent is on the bench. We've got Bradley Johnson on the bench, Alex Pearce, Jacob Butterfield, and Nick Blackman. So they've got quite a strong bench to come off there. If you look at that, the names that spring to mind straight away, you've got to look at Tom Ince being one of them straight away. I'm very, very surprised he's not starting, so I'm delighted at that, personally, myself. Bradley Johnson, we know he's just come back from injury, but they've also got Butterfield and Blackman to bring on later on the game. So they do have a bit of strength and depth on the bench, definitely. If you're wondering why I'm not looking directly at the camera, because I've got my laptop next to us, you know. So looking at the Derby starting lineup then, so they've got Scott Carson in goal, they've got Christie at right back, and then they went for Bryson and Shackle, and Keogh is the main, along the back as well. Johnny Russell, Kechianya, who I think he's making his debut, will cause us problems. It's not really saying on the Derby Twitter feed which position he is playing at, but I would expect him to be on the left flank. And then he's also opted for James Wilson, who's also come in on loan from Manchester United, so he'll start up front. So he'll be a fox in the box. And Mbemba and Lascelles will need to, I presume Mbemba and Lascelles are starting. They'll need to keep an eye out for those two. Will Hughes is in central midfield. Now, he had a knock in the England under 21s during the week as well. I would expect Marcus Olsen to play left flank, or maybe Anya could be one of those two alternating on the left side. And obviously Vidra, which I did expect in the preview show that I did, I thought he would come in as well. So reaction to that, I'm more surprised about the bench, to be honest with you. Look at that. I mean, Ince and Bent, I know Darren Bent's been on the bench for quite a while, but the Tom Ince and the Bradley Johnson one, that's thrown us a little bit like, so optimistic about that. Like, I had this down as a score draw personally for myself. Obviously, if you're watching as well, there'll be a half-time instant reaction as well. So let's head over to Newcastle as well. So we're going to start with the substitutes bench as well, which has just literally come out a couple of minutes ago. So we've got Darlow in goal, who's the sub-keeper, which we would expect that to be. DeAndre Yedlin on the bench again. I'm not massively surprised about that because he has travelled halfway around the world to play 2 games in the USA. I did have him in my starting lineup just because the fact I wanted him in there. Also on the bench, you've got Ashraf Lazar as well. Again, I had him in my starting lineup, but it's not surprising that he's opted for someone else at left back, which will come on in a moment if you don't know. Also, Kieran Clark, no surprises there. Isaac Hayden is dropped to the bench, which is massively surprising for me. So he's been on form this season. Maybe he's rotating it, but that's a surprise. Ayoze Perez, that doesn't surprise me too much, but he's went for Mitrovic on the bench as well. That doesn't surprise me too much because he's seen an hour for Serbia on Monday against Ireland, and I did expect Mitrovic not to start this game. But if you look at the squads in depth now for players who come off the bench and perhaps change it, you're only looking at 2 players, really, aren't you? You're looking at Perez and Mitrovic. Maybe Yedlin could be pushed on further on second half if that's another alternative. But let's begin with the starting lineup, and we'll do the reaction in a minute. So Matt Sells starts in goal, no massive surprise there. Obviously Vernon in the at right back. He's going to be up and down that flank. We would expect bombing on, but if not, we've always got Yedlin, you know. And Mbemba and Lascelles, no surprises there. They are our main 2 partnership pairings this season. There's not massively there. Paul Dummett at left back. I bet he's relieved that Tom Ince is on the bench because he's not up against the pacey winger. But as long as he didn't hoof the balls long, and when he gets to halfway line, he panics and passes it square. On the right-hand side, Matt Ritchie. I think he's going to be up for this game. He didn't really have a great game against Brighton, to be fair, although the team in general had a good game. Jonjo Shelvey, I think he is key. I've said this before. I think he is key because it looks like, because he's went with Colback and Diarmi in the midfield, it looks like he's going to pack the midfield when we don't have the ball. Diarmi's going to come back. So it's like a 4-4-1-1 and maybe a 4-5-1 when we don't have the ball. So Shelvey, key for me, getting the ball, passing it. None of these Hollywood passes, doesn't have to do all of this all the time. Jack Colback. Yes, I know he's more of an away player. I'd rather say Hayden in there, but we'll have to see how Jack Colback gets on there. There's no point moaning about it now. Let's get behind the lads. Johan Gouffran at left midfield, that's not a surprise. I didn't think Christian Atsu would make it. He's not even on the bench. Christian Atsu as well, never as Daryl Murphy. So goes to show you the squad and depth that Newcastle have, that Murphy and Atsu can't even get on the bench. Great. I think it's great. it's not great that they're not on the bench, but, you know, the squad and depth, that's what I mean, you know. So Johan Gouffran at left midfield, he'll be helping out Paul Dummett, no doubt. He had a great game against Brighton, so he just needs to keep his form up. And who would have thought Johan Gouffran would be out start left midfield for the past 3-4 games? Absolutely mad, isn't it? Mo Diarmi, as I've already picked up as well. Only criticism I've got with Mo Diarmi in that midfield role, or the second striker, or number 10, whoever you want to call it, is his work rate's got to be up there. At home, it's all right because he can get away for a lot of stuff, but away from home, he needs to graft hard. I do think that'll switch to a 4-5-1 without the ball, so it'll be interesting to see that. And obviously, Fox in the box, our goal scorer, Dwight Gale, he had to come in, didn't he? I would have been more surprised if Gale was on the bench rather than Mitrovic. But looking at that, I would have thought most of it I'm all right with. Just the Diarmi and Colback one for me. I'd rather have Hayden or Mitrovic or Perez in there. And just because, like, as I've already touched on it, no Atsu and no Daryl Murphy as well. So all in all, I've got this down as a 1-1 draw. Let me know what you think of this, the lineup, clearly. I'll be back at half-time for you as well, just basically giving you a quick instant reaction. So as soon as the match is finished as soon as it's half-time on Sky Sports, I'll be live again, back on YouTube, giving my thoughts, and of course, get your comments down there below. But I'm going to go for 1-1 draw. I've said this, I've got to stick to it. I can't change my mind. I'm sticking to 1-1. I've been Liam on behalf of Newcastle Fans TV. See you at half-time.